Welcome back to the table. I'm Chef Alex Reethof. We've got a fantastic meal in store for you today. We're gonna do a Tuscan roasted chicken with lemon, garlic, and herbs. We're gonna have a hearty risotto with root vegetables. We're gonna move on to a fantastic dessert of pumpkin gingerbread bread pudding. You don't wanna miss it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the table. I'm Chef Alex Reethof, and right now we're going to do this Tuscan roasted chicken with lemon, garlic, and some great fresh herbs. One of the things we're going to do today is talk a little bit about chickens. We're going to talk about making our own poultry seasoning, but let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's talk about these chickens. First of all, I'm going to start with a whole chicken here. And what I normally do with a whole chicken is I rinse them real well, and then I put them in a brine for about 4 or 5 hours. And this has been brining for 4 or 5 hours. It's about 1 cup of salt for 4 quarts of water. And I'll let them sit in there, and that gives it some great flavor. The reason why I like whole chickens is they're much less processed, so they're much less handled. And they also are a tad fresher because they don't get processed. So they actually get out the door a little bit quicker, and they're also quite a bit cheaper. And I like all the cuts of a chicken. So I'm going to show you how to process or cut down a chicken, break down a chicken. So I've got a bowl here, and we're going to make our chicken and bring our chicken in, cut it into pieces, and bring it in and show you how to do this. First, I'm going to take the little part of the wing off, which I don't really ever use. I'm just cut those off on either side. Got a nice sharp knife. And what I do is I'm going to take it right down the middle, right down one side of the bone, and a nice sharp knife, and I just hold it with the knife between my hands, and I cut right down through, and I open it up and I cut on one side of the backbone. Just cut right down through. And there we have half a chicken all ready to go. And I'm going to cut the backbone out of the other side. And then that's all ready to go. I can save that for stocks. And then I'm going to take this chicken and I'm going to cut right down through next to the chicken breast, and this is the leg portion. Pull them off. And here we have our leg. We got a leg. I'm going to cut them. I'm going to take them up like this, and I'm going to cut right down through here. And we have our lower leg, and then this is the thigh. And I'm going to take the chicken breast, and I'm going to cut it since it's so big, right down through. Now, what we have here is a chicken breast that is a free-range chicken. There's no antibiotics in it, and it's raising, and it has all natural feeds have been fed to this chicken. So it should have great, great flavor, and that's what we're looking for. I'm going to cut right down through the thigh again, and there we go. We got our drumstick and the thigh, and as you can see, this takes no time at all to cut up our chicken. And it's all right here, all in pieces, all ready to go, and that's all you have to do in order to have a chicken ready for you, ready for cooking. So I'll clean my cutting board up just briefly. Now, let's make a little bit of a marinade for this so that it can get some flavor, additional flavor into it before we put it into our pan and roast it. So I like to make my own poultry seasoning. So into the food processor, I'm going to take some ground marjoram. I'm going to take some ground oregano, some ground rosemary, some ground thyme. And I'm going to also add to it, to give it a little bit more effervescence, a little bit of nutmeg. So I've got a little bit of ground nutmeg that goes into it. And you're welcome to grind your own nutmeg right from the nutmeg piece. I'm going to take some salt. I'm going to put it in. Got to have plenty of seasoning. I'm going to take some pepper. Add that to our bowl. I'm going to take 6 to 8 cloves of garlic. They go in. It's a simple marinade, very easy to do. I also love lemon zest. So I'm taking the outer portion and zesting the lemon, and I'm putting that right in. And then I'm going to take some lemon juice, the juice of lemons. So I'm going to take my lemon juicer. These are the lemons that I've already zested. I'm going to add them right in. And I'm going to take another one here. And we'll get one more for good measure. I'll save one for the very end. Good juicy lemons, I love it. All right, we're gonna put our lid on and we're gonna let this go. We just made our own poultry seasoning. Very simple, very easy to do. I'm gonna add to this mixture a little bit of olive oil. I like good green olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is my favorite. We're gonna add this and make a nice little slurry. And this is gonna help stick to the chicken and help marinate the chicken. I'll marinate this for up to 24 hours. There we go. And you can see what I've got here is a fantastic little marinade with some great flavor. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna just pour this all over our chicken. And I'm gonna let this marinate for up to 12 hours. Or up to a day, that's just fine as well. So we'll mix this up, make sure it's all covered up, and we'll set this in the refrigerator. And I just happen to have a little bit of chicken that's already been marinating in the same kind of solution, same marinade, and look at that, it's all set and ready to go. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually sear this off, and then we're gonna roast it and bake it. So I've got my pan, it's very, very hot. I'm gonna add a little butter to it. And it's really hot. I'm gonna add a little olive oil to it just to keep it from burning. And I'm gonna start putting my chicken in just to sear the outside. All I'm looking for is a good sear on the outside. And I like to start always with the skin side down. And I'm gonna let this go just to sear really, really well. Get some good color to it. You can see how that's, I'm gonna get a good little sear on that. Great flavor. It's gonna come right on through. Got the chicken breast. There we go. All those flavors are starting to concentrate in here as this gets seared. We're gonna get some nice color on this, okay, on the skin. I'm gonna take this off after it's done, after I've got a good color to it. And I'm gonna take it off and put it on a sheet tray with a rack on it. And I'm gonna add some fresh herbs to it, and you'll see how we do that. And I'm also gonna add some garlic, and I'm gonna take this whole bulb of garlic, and I'm gonna take it and cut it right down through the equator. And that's gonna go right on our chicken as well. So all I'm looking for on this chicken is a good sear, because I'm gonna cook it the rest of the way in the oven. So all I'm looking for is some really good color. As you can see, I'm getting some good color on that piece right there. Good color there. That's what I'm looking for there. And you'll probably sear this for a good 7-8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. We'll put this then on our tray. I've got a 400-degree oven going behind me. And we're gonna put this on there, have it all, and we're gonna put this in the oven for another 20 to 30 minutes until it's all done. And you're gonna see how we arrange all this, and it'll be great for the family as you bring this on out. So, what I'm gonna end up doing is taking my garlic, placing this all over, because this is gonna actually impart some great flavor as well as that. I'm gonna take some rosemary sprigs. I'm gonna just drape them all over, and this flavors are gonna drip right down into the chicken. I'm gonna take some thyme sprigs, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the thyme sprigs. Just pull them off and lay them around, and those herbs are gonna roast, the flavors are gonna come out, and it's gonna fall right down onto the meat. You're almost like making a blanket with herbs over top of it, and that's what we're looking for. So, into the oven we go with this until it's all completely done. And I just happen to have one that I can show you coming right out of the oven. And this is what it looks like. Isn't that looking great? Got a beautiful color to that chicken. All the herbs have kind of roasted and fallen off right onto the chicken themselves. Great flavor, you can see it. It smells beautiful, absolutely wonderful. We'll take a little plate here. And I'll add some of these right onto the plate. Oh, that chicken looks gorgeous. Oh, it's just done perfect. Take a piece just like this, a little white piece, a little dark piece. And I'll take some of these herbs. We will garnish this. One piece of rosemary since it's supposed to be there. And then I got a lemon. So there we have an awesome roasted Tuscan chicken with lemon and garlic and herbs. When we come back, we're going to do a hearty risotto with roasted root vegetables. You want to stay with us. We have a hearty risotto for you that's got roasted root vegetables, which is a great hearty warm dish that we're going to do, and it's an easy way to make risotto. I'm going to show you a few interesting tricks, so let's get started. The first thing I want to show you is leek. Leek is one of those onion products that we don't use a lot in this country, but it's something used extensively in France. One of the reasons why people are a little bit adverse to using leek is that they're really kind of dirty. They're kind of muddy and they harbor a lot of dirt in it because of the way they're grown. When they're grown in the ground, we keep piling the dirt up onto it so that we have a nice white area here where the chlorophyll doesn't build up. So we'd have kind of a white stalk on this, as well as this hardy green stalk up here, which is a little sturdier as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and expose all the areas of the leek. We simply insert a knife into the flat side and we take it all the way down through. And when you open it up, you'll see what I'm talking about when I talk to you about dirt and how it kind of resides into the different stalks. So we're going to work on getting all the dirt out of this leek. So what we'll do is we'll take this leek and we'll drop it right into a little water, and we'll let all that water, all that dirt fall off that leek so we have something really good to work with. What I'll do is I'll take this portion of the leek that is pretty clean and we'll lay it down, and all I'm going to do is make some slices on it. And we're going to utilize this to start out with our dish. And so here we go. We got some great pieces of leek here. I'm going to add them to what I've already worked with, which I've already cleaned this all up real well. So that's how you work with leek. So we're going to start our risotto with this leek. I'm going to take this leek and I'm going to add a little bit of butter to our pan. Our pan's been warming, and I'm going to add this butter. And I'm going to saute this leek so that we can get that great oniony flavor. The beautiful thing about leek is that when you cook it, it gets really soft. It has an outstanding sweetness to it. And it's also been known to be used in soups and stocks. And we're just going to let this render down gently for the next couple of minutes and get nice and soft. I'll keep a good close eye on that. In the meantime, I'm going to take our root vegetables. One of the root vegetables that I really like to use this time of year is a golden beet. And this is what it looks like on the outside. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's beautiful. It's light in flavor. It doesn't leave a big old pile of color on your cutting board or get on your hands. So I'm going to take this beet and I'm going to cut it down multiple pieces. And we're going to lay it flat, and we're going to make some nice little fine dices with this. It is a very hearty and sturdy vegetable. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make some nice little matchsticks, and I'm going to turn it sideways. And we're going to take these and toss them with a little olive oil, a little lemon juice, and we're going to roast it in the oven for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to take these, put them in our bowl. I'm going to do that with each of these different root vegetables. Isn't that a beautiful color? I love that yellow color. And we'll add this to our late in the process of our risotto. Here we go. We'll move on to some parsnips, another great root vegetable. This is a parsnip. It can be real long, it can be real thin. You just never know when you go to the store and buy it. I'm going to take a few pieces, again about the same size as our beet. I'm going to go right down through, make the same kind of dices that we have here. Real nice hearty vegetable. Here we go. All right, into our bowl. Carrots can be a little tricky to cut. I'll show you a little simple, easy method. And that is simply taking the carrot on its side. We'll cut it in its half. We'll lay it flat on the flat side. That way it's not moving. I don't like moving targets. They don't work well with my fingers. So I'm just going to go down and make some nice little matchsticks right down through. Try to keep that knife between your fingers and you probably won't hurt yourself. I'll lay it on its side, twist it, and we'll make some nice little julienne, nice little cube cuts. There we go. All right, so now we have our root vegetables all ready to go. You can add turnips to this if you'd like. There's a variety of other root vegetables you can use. What I like is these. They got great color. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to them, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And we'll just give them a little toss. And onto our sheet tray. And 15 minutes with these is all we need. Woo. All we need. Just cover these real well. We're going to lay them out on the sheet tray. And I'll move this. Just lay them out on a nice little layer so they can all cook. Put them in the oven and we'll let them go until they get a great color on them. And pull them out in about 15 minutes. So in the meantime, I've got my leek. We're catching it before it turns brown. We're going to give it a good little stir. I'm going to turn up my heat just a little bit. But you see how soft they've gotten and a good looking color to them. You got some white, you have some green, variety of different colors in here. They've turned very sweet and soft. And now we're going to add our risotto. And risotto is a short grained rice. And it's an arborio rice, Italian rice. And the nice thing about this short grained rice is that it has lots of starch around the kernel. And as we cook this, and we add our liquid to it, the starch will fall off that rice and create that rich, heartiness, creamy kind of texture that we like to see in a risotto. So I'm going to just cook this for just a second, tossing it with the butter that's already in here and the leeks. And by the way, this dish would be a fantastic vegetarian dish if we used olive oil instead of butter, and we used vegetable stock. And we're going to finish it off with some Parmesan cheese, but that can easily be omitted to make this a complete vegetarian dish. So I've got the rice kernels here, and we don't really want to cook the rice kernels, but we want to give them a little bit of stock. So I've got hot stock here, and it's got plenty of flavor. And you can hear it sizzle on the pan. And I want it to sizzle. I want it to be good and hot. I want it to be bubbling away. That's what I'm looking for. And that's going to then... these kernels will start to absorb this, and we'll stir this gently as it starts absorbing the liquid. So while that's going, and you want to stay with risotto, it takes a good 20 minutes to make. And as you can see, the color is already starting to come out in the thickness, and it's starting to absorb the liquid. Can you see how it's starting to turn a little creamy on us right here? You see how that's starting to already come about? Looks absolutely, it's a great start to what we're doing. When I pull those vegetables out, this is what they're going to look like. This is what we roasted, and this is how they look. And we're going to add this in at the very end of our process with the risotto. And you can see this has already absorbed a good bit of that liquid that I put in there. 8 ounces of liquid for 2 cups of rice. And I'm going to try to keep all the rice down in there. Now's a good time for us to add a little bit more. And I keep this pot on the heat so it stays hot. You got to stay with hot liquid. And that's how we keep it, the starch coming off that rice and making it nice absorbing so it swells and gets soft and tender through the cooking process. We're going to be doing this for several ladles full. And this can be done while we're roasting those vegetables. By the way, make sure your stock has plenty of flavor in it because we are not adding any salt or pepper or any of the seasonings to this other than what we have here already in the seasoned liquid that we have. It could be a vegetable stock, chicken stock, or any combination thereof. And you can see the creaminess that we're getting already. I'm just going to stir gently just to keep it from sticking. But as that moisture, it's not necessarily evaporating as much as it is being absorbed by the kernels of rice in here. And at the same time, those kernels of rice are releasing some starch. And that's creating that wonderful creaminess that we're already starting to see happen with this rice. I'm going to add another ladle, one at a time. Hot liquid, vegetable broth, chicken broth. And you can see it already starting to form. The starches are building up on the side. I want to break those down, bring them down into the risotto as it goes. I'll keep it spread out so I have a nice even area of cooking. We're going to continue cooking this until all the liquid that can be absorbed by this rice is absorbed, and we're pretty low on the liquid we have to add into it. Now we're about ready to finish this off. As you can see, this rice has done a fantastic job of releasing its starches to give us a great, nice, thick, hearty, creamy, dreamy kind of consistency. And it's just about to the point of being like pudding almost. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our roasted vegetables right here, and I'm going to add those in, all of them. Don't want to miss a bit of them. And I'm going to stir that in, and this is all going to be part. Doesn't that look wonderful? It's got a great look about it. I'm actually going to kill the heat, turn it off at this point, and let all these roasted vegetables come up to heat with the rest of it. And we are just about ready to plate this. Doesn't that look awesome? This is all done with the starches from the rice all on their own. This looks marvelous. So, ooh, yeah, doesn't that look good? Hearty, hearty dish. You got a nice soft rice now. You can see the kernels are very discernible. They got a little bit of a crunch to them. I'm going to bring a bowl over, and I'm going to add a good bit of this to my bowl, right down in the middle. Oh, yeah. I'm going to garnish it with one little sprig right on the side. And there we have a fantastic hearty risotto with roasted root vegetables. And when we come back, we're going to do a pumpkin gingerbread bread pudding that you don't want to miss. It's a fantastic dessert. Gingerbread, pumpkin, bread pudding. Awesome combination. We're going to put this together and we're going to make an awesome bread pudding. We're going to start right now with putting all our breads together. So we're going to start with gingerbread. This gingerbread can be made out of a box. You can make it from scratch. You can buy it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it and slice it into nice big chunks. And we're going to put it in our bowl, and we're going to add to that some chunks of bread with cinnamon twisted into it. And it's just, oh, this is the great start of a really super, super dessert. Take a little bit more of this. We're going to make a little bit of a brulee type of base that we toss this all with. I'm going to make some nice long strips with this. We're going to add that to it. Big chunks. We want to see big chunks in this. Fold it all open. we're going to fold. We got to be very careful with this because we want to keep our gingerbread from falling apart. Right in half here. We'll break those up. All right, our bread is all ready. One of the things we're going to do with our bread is I'm going to take about a half a cup of melted butter, and I'm just going to sprinkle that right onto this all around, and that's going to help keep this good and moist and give it a nice, rich, desserty kind of flavor. Now let's make our brulee. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some eggs, and I need 4 yolks and 1 whole egg. So let's start out by just taking these eggs and putting them through our fingers, getting the whites off. There's 1 yolk. Here we go. Another egg. That could be our whole egg right there. You can use those egg whites, by the way, are a great thing to feed your animals, helps their skin, and we're all done, great, ready for that. All right, to this, we're gonna add some nutmeg. Got some great nutmeg going, a good flavor. I'm gonna add some vanilla. We're gonna add a little hazelnut flavoring, which is really, really important to go with this. Always a pinch of salt. Salt helps round out the flavors. I'm going to add white sugar and brown sugar. And then in goes the pumpkin. We got some great organic pumpkin right here. Lovely, lovely pumpkin. Just the pumpkin means not a pumpkin pie mix or anything like that, just the straight pumpkin. We're going to mix this all together. And this is going to be our mix. This is a very simple, very easy dessert. You can do this ahead of time. It's lovely, it's full of flavor. It's something that everyone can enjoy. Oh, isn't that great? So we got this great mixture right here, right? Mix it all real well. The eggs are kind of the binding agent. And I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this with our bread, and I'm going to pour this all over it and let this soak. Just let it all soak it up. Give it a couple of minutes while I add to I'll take our pan. Ooh, it's one of them jump out of the pond. Let's put that guy back in there again. Okay, we're going to try to mix this up, being really gentle with the gingerbread. Adds a great dimension. Ginger, great, great product that helps all kinds of health benefits. Oh yeah, we got a nice little pudding going on here. Looks awesome. We're going to let this set and let it just sit for a second. I'm going to grab my pan. I'm going to take a little towel. Take a little butter in my towel. I'm just going to wipe it around the inside of this pan so it doesn't stick. And then we go into the oven for 30 minutes at 325 degrees. Here we go. Being really careful not to let this break up too much. But we want to get it all. I'll spread this out. See the difference in colors, the contrast with that gingerbread and then the cinnamon bread. Oh, that looks great, doesn't it? A little bit soupy, that's what we're looking for. And in the oven we go. So we're going to take this to the oven. He goes in. I'm going to pull out one that looks just like this. We did a little bit earlier. And this is what it looks like when we bring it back out of the oven. Doesn't that look glorious? So I'm going to take our plate. I'm going to take a little bit of powdered sugar. Put it around on the plate. We're going to put the powdered sugar under it. I'm going to take a big old spoon of this because it only goes in big doses. Doesn't that look lovely right there? It's a beautiful dessert by using bread, gingerbread, and a great brulee topping. So there we've got a beautiful dessert. Doesn't this look delicious? To round out this whole meal, I want to bring in our Tuscan roasted lemon garlic chicken with herbs and our hearty risotto with roasted root vegetables. This is a fantastic meal. We're here at Guy T. Gunther's studio filming. I want to thank him, and thank you to Beaufort Highway Farmers Market for supplying all these great ingredients. I am Chef Alex Reethof, bringing you back to the table. Hope to see you soon.